ain't gotta lie to kick it, my nigga. You ain't gotta lie. You ain't gotta lie.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of You Ain't Gotta Lie podcast. This is episode 24. I'm your co-host, 2AV Jason, aka JCC. And who am I with?
It's your boy F Money, or Money for Sure. How's everybody doing today?
I'm doing good myself, man. How about you? All right, you guys. We got some pretty juicy topics today. We're gonna start off talking about work-life balance, our opinions on it, how to manage it, how to get in that sweet spot. We're gonna talk about the Jake Paul versus Tank Davis fight. I was trying to avoid it, but since it's getting close to the day of it happening, we have to talk about it. It's a lot of things that I personally feel, not sure what Money's gonna have to say about it. And we obviously gonna recap some NFL, and we're gonna switch it up. Since we usually release these on Monday, it's kind of hard talking about the previous week, so now we're gonna start doing previews. So we're gonna give our opinions on some of the games that we're looking forward to the coming week. And last but definitely not least, we're gonna be talking about the Cam Newton and Tua situation. How's your Saturday going, Money?
It's going great, man.
Going good.
Great. What about you?
Not
Any
really.
big
I got
plans?
up a little early, was able to have a nice little breakfast, walk the dog, got him all settled. So once we finish here, I'll probably have to meal prep. But other than that, it's been a great day, man. But first things first,
Great to hear.
work-life balance. Money, you want to take the lead on this?
Yes, I would love to. Okay, I'm gonna say, there's different things regarding the work-life balance. There's some people who are workaholics because that's their way of getting away. Getting away from life, just being at work all the time. Every second of the day. Then you have the people who are workaholics because that's how to get away from trauma. They having problems at home, so they're like, hey, I'd rather stay at the job than go home. And I'll say, to me, it's important to have a healthy work-life balance. If it includes having a hobby outside of work, hanging out with people, taking care of yourself, getting a massage, going and playing basketball, if you like to play sports. Or if you like to, there's some people who like to watch anime, different movies and everything. I'll say there's just different things you can do. Some people like to game. I like to game a little bit as a hobby. And I'll say make sure that you're, take off the time that the job gives you. Because, the once you're gone, a job will replace you. But the ones who are hurt the most is your friends and family.
Right. And I know certain people will have.
What do you think about the work-life
certain people
balance?
will have jobs and they'll have a bunch of PTO and sick time saved up, and then they will get fired from this job and they lose all that PTO and sick time. So it's very important to use your time. The companies give it to you for a reason. Don't be that workaholic that you're like not using your time. They're literally paying you to stay home. So why would you not use it? I never understood why people don't use their PTO and sick time. They're
Yes.
literally paying you to stay home. As far as finding a balance, it's very important to find a balance. There's a lot of people out here, Money, with no hobbies. And it's like, you don't have to have the same hobbies as me, but it's people with no hobbies. Like, you don't like to do anything outside of going to work. I think that's sad. I think you should always have something that you truly enjoy.
Yeah, I agree
No
with
matter
you.
what it is. If you like to knit, then knit. If you like to make music in your spare time, make music. If you like to paint, paint. But you should have a hobby, no matter what it is. And if you don't, then I highly recommend you start taking time
Hey,
out
Jay.
and exploring and trying to find a hobby.
Work is some
It
people
cannot be a hobby.
hobbies.
That's your
'Cause I was
career.
talking with me and Dakota was talking, and we are just talking about it.
I
I'm
can
just
work. That
saying
doesn't even
that
make
might be
sense.
some
How
people
can no?
hobbies. Crazy
It
that does
doesn't
it
even
sound.
classify as the definition of a hobby.
I
How
don't.
can you say, what do you
Hey,
do for fun? Go to
hey,
work?
hey. I'm just
That
saying.
don't even make sense. Work is not a hobby.
I'm
That's
just
no.
saying, bro. That people people
That's
love their
fine. You can
job
love
so
your
much
job, but you can't say that's your hobby. To
that
say your job is your hobby is insane. That doesn't even. If you look at the definition of a hobby,
hey,
it
I'm
doesn't
just
even fall into
hey,
the definition. That's your career.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying, bro. I don't like I said. Will work ever be my hobby? No, but I'm just saying that's what some people love
That's
to
fine,
do.
but you can't say it's a hobby. I don't think no one is saying their job is a hobby. That's wild. But no, I mean, it's you have to find a balance, man. You can't be a workaholic because how many times have we seen people on their deathbed say, "Oh, I wish I didn't work so hard." You know what I'm saying? Like we see all
A
the time.
lot.
Like you can't take it with you. You know what I'm saying? No matter what you do, no matter how hard you work, when it's all said and done, and they lower you into that ground, my boy, that money that you work so hard to get, you can't take with you. So enjoy it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Enjoy it.
How about another thing? What about those people who work their butt off at a job for 30 years and the company closes down and they lose their whole pension?
That's unfortunate.
We seen that. Remember, it's happened to people. They had a pension at a company. Like I was I was in a group and they were talking about this lady worked at Microsoft and she'd been there for 17 to 20 years, maybe 25, right? And they said that Microsoft fired her 3 months before she got her full pension from the company.
That's sad.
That's how these companies are. Yeah, that's why we both say you need to have a work life and balance because hey, if you want to go on vacation, as long as affordable, it's affordable to you, go on vacation. Enjoy your life. Like I don't live it recklessly now, but enjoy your life because once you're gone or once someone in your inner circle is gone, all you have is time that you spent together, those memories.
No, for sure. You gotta do
So I'll
something for
say
fun.
that.
Like it's fine with you loving your job, but you need to have something that you enjoy doing outside of work. Who wants to be have this fucking have this job that where you're just working so hard and you have no one to experience it with or enjoy life with, and you're eating Chinese takeout every day by yourself. That's not life to live. Like I said in our last episode, we as humans we
You
need
know what?
companionship. No matter where it comes from, we need companionship. So
I agree. I was about to say that. That's very healthy is companionship. And your hobby could be spending time with your significant other. That could be a
right.
hobby. Y'all like I see so many people, they video blog or at one time me and the wife were going and we would vlog us trying out different food. It was actually exciting. We went to this Thai restaurant and we went and tried out food. So I was like, hey, let's do it. So we're going to a restaurant today. We might, vlog a
It's
little bit
fine.
of that. Yeah, that's what we do. That's some things we do outside of work. And then, for everybody who don't know, for our work-life balance, we're going to North Carolina next week.
Yes.
We're looking forward to it because, we got to enjoy it. Hey, there might be a food
Oh
challenge
God.
video on the way. All right, when we're in North Carolina.
Don't
For
hold your breath
everybody,
on it.
let us know in the comments you want us to put it down.
Money Money has been talking about the food challenge for no reason. Like it came from nowhere. It's not like, something I said or he just randomly was like, "Oh, we're gonna do a food challenge." They're like, North Carolina is the place to do food challenges. We're going to watch a Panthers versus Dolphins game, and it's in Carolina. I've never been to the stadium. Money's never been to the stadium, so this will be our first time experiencing it together, and our teams are playing. So it'll be a great experience. And he keeps mentioning a food challenge. So we may be recording Money doing a food challenge by himself. All right. So that is a possibility to be posted on the channel. We shall see what the future holds, though. Anything else you want to add?
It may be
Maybe
pizza.
pizza, yes.
It may be a pizza one. Hey, if you ain't joining me, bro, you at least gotta
I will
record.
gladly record.
I'm Hey, make sure you can't be laughing too hard because we can't have that in the audio.
That is gonna be it's gonna be a
I'm gonna try to get JU to join me.
You ready for our next one?
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
very
So
ready.
next up, we're going to be talking about Jake Paul taking on Gervonta Tank Davis. Oh man, where to start? It's so many angles, so many different things to say about this. First and foremost, it's my initial reaction when I seen it was like, this is fake. It's like when Luca got traded. When Luca got traded, we was like, oh, that's fake. That ain't real. And then
Yeah,
it's like oh shit, is this real? Like this really happened? And it's like, it's no way Tank would ever fight Jake Paul.
Hmm.
And he started seeing more and more stuff come out. Tank's fighting. I'm like, bro, Tank is not fighting no damn Jake Paul. And then Tank posted on his social media, because Jake Paul posts stuff all the time. He posted a teaser of him fighting Butterbean. I think Butterbean passed away. He posted a teaser of him supposed to be fighting his brother. And it's like, he's not fighting Tank. So I'm thinking it's him trolling. And then Tank posted like, yeah, it's happening. And it's like, oh man, it's so much to say on it. First and foremost, the credibility risk with such a size and weight gap between the two, it's hard for it to seem like a fair fight. It's going down as an exhibition, and it's not a real fight towards their record because it's not going to be fully sanctioned. So they're tweaking the rules to make it more entertaining than the sport, and it's giving selling out. Like Tank is a decorated, respected boxer. For him to agree to such a spectacle like this feels like he prioritizing money and over meaningful competition. Like there's so many guys out there that I want to see Tank fight, like Shakur, like I can't think of his name. There's a couple guys on this list that it's like, yo, you need to take care of them guys. You need to get them up out of here. Especially Shakur. Shakur's on top of the list for me. There's a couple Hispanic boxers out there I wanted to see him go against, but for you to go against this Jake Paul, it's like, damn. And the financial motives and the crossover spectacles having, it's going to be streaming on Netflix. It's going to be super hyped up. So yes, the numbers is going to be there, the money's going to be there, but why would he risk his reputation? If Tank loses this or looks bad in this fight, it's going to look bad. It's going to look bad. And it's like, if he gets knocked out, because everybody has a puncher's chance. When you step in that ring, everyone has a puncher's chance. So if he goes out there and gets knocked out by Jake Paul, you know how bad it's going to tarnish his reputation and his legacy? And they're going to be like, oh, it's an exhibition fight. No, it don't matter. Yes. It don't matter. It don't matter if he was wrestling against some high schooler in Indiana. If he gets pinned by a wrestler in high school in Indiana, I'm
Jay, what about that size?
Exactly, that's another thing.
That
Tank
size
is
difference is
pounds.
huge, Jay.
And apparently Jake is going to, because Jake fought his last fight at about 218, 220. So now Jake is going to cut down to 185, and that's still a 40-pound difference. So I don't understand, like,
Jay, 5'5", 5'5" to 6'1". Tank is 5'5", 140. Jake Paul is 6'1". You say he'd be 185. A 40-pound difference is huge. That height, that length, arm length is a huge difference because 5'5" to 6'1".
We seen Tank fight guys 6 foot, but they're 140.
Netflix.
They're in his weight class. So to see you fight a guy 20 pounds bigger, them punches are going to be more impactful for Jake. If Jake can land some good punches, he may be able to knock out Tank. Because like I said, everyone has a puncher's chance. So the fact that it's just like, and for the love of God, if anyone tells me I'll do it for the bag too, I'm blocking you. Like, I'm not gonna have this dumbass conversation. Tank is not me and you who saying that are regular people. The people who saying I'll do it for a bag too are regular people. I'm not a trained fighter, and I'm 99% sure the person who commented isn't a trained fighter. Tank is not a regular dude. He's already a millionaire, so he doesn't need money. He's already has clout. He's one of the most talented boxers to ever live. He's undefeated, so he don't need the money. He doesn't need that. And it's like, what angle are we doing this? His legacy's not in doubt, but now you're putting it in jeopardy. People gonna look at him so differently. If Tank get embarrassed money, it ain't just a loss, but it's gonna be a stain on everything he built, honestly.
Let me ask you this. What if Tank wins and knocks out Jake Paul? Will that make him look
No,
better?
It's a lose-lose.
We have to think about
it's like
the
dude who's abusive who beat women. It's like, bro, you knocked out a woman. Do you feel good about yourself? Or on the flip of that coin, she knocks him out. Yo, you just got knocked out by a lady who ain't a trained fighter. It looks bad. So it's a lose-lose situation. He beats Jake Paul. It's like, well, you're supposed to. You're Tank freaking Davis. If Jake Paul knocks him out, it's like, all right, Tank, we thought you was indestructible. Because if I'm not mistaken, Tank's never been knocked down in his career. So this is going to probably be, if it happens,
how old is Tank?
34, I believe. I believe 34.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
He's 30. Like, he's 30, man. He's at the peak of his powers.
Yes. Because Because I thought he retired early. I was like, he's
No,
retired early. He retired
he's
before
still
30.
boxing. So he's gonna probably. I mean, if this fight sells as well as he could make around 30 million. But at the same time, it's like, what are we doing? You should be fighting for belts, for world championships. It's just, I don't know. It's disrespectful to the sport of boxing. Like I used to support Jake Paul in the boxing thing because when he first started, he was fighting people, and then people will say, "Oh, he's not a real boxer." And then it's like if you actually pay attention and look into Jake Paul, he's actually really training. Like he's really putting in that work and training and doing all the things to prepare for a boxing match. So I respect him as a fighter. And then he got to a point to where after he started whooping these lower level teams, it started getting to a point where like people was like, oh well, you need to fight a real boxer, and I agree with it because you're doing what you're supposed to the people who aren't boxers, and since you're beating these people who aren't boxers, you gotta fight an actual boxer because you're showing me you're a legit fighter. Like he was showing me he was a legit fighter. Then when he did fight an actual boxer, he didn't fight a great one. He fought Tommy Fury, and Tommy Fury beat him. Tommy Fury he outclassed him, he outboxed him, and it's like okay, now it's only up from here. Who's next on the list? And then Jake just keeps fighting these nobodies. And then when he does fight someone who's legit, it's like someone who is either old as hell or someone who's who he shouldn't be fighting. He fought
Mike
Mike Tyson, who was
Tyson.
old as hell. He fought another boxer who was like retired or something, or I think he was an MMA fighter. I had to double check, but he's fought someone who's not like a legit fighter. He fought Mike Tyson. Now he's fighting Tank Davis, who's undersized compared to him. And it's like Jake, if you're not trying to be serious about boxing like I thought you was, that's fine. You chase your bag. You're an entertainer. I respect the hustle. I'm never gonna knock the hustle. But Tank, you're not. You are a professional. You are a trained assassin. Tank, you've been boxing since you was a child. So it's like you have way more established legacy than Jake Paul. Jake Paul got some highlights, yeah, in his boxing career, but he doesn't. Jake Paul hasn't done anything to make me say, oh yeah, he's going to be a Hall of Fame boxer. Tank has done stuff to make me say he's a Hall of Fame boxer. He's arguably better than Floyd, but if he takes on with him taking on this fight, I can't say that no more. Even Floyd with his spectacle boxing, he fought Conor McGregor, and to Conor's credit, he trained like a boxer. He trained, he put that work in and stepped in the ring with Floyd, and Floyd beat him.
Well, Connor was another professional at that point because he was still doing
Yeah, and
UFC,
I mean that's the thing. Jake's fought some guys in
but
UFC and beat them
still,
in
it wasn't
boxing,
the
but
same.
he's fought guys who are older. He fought Ben. Ben has been retired for a couple years, and then he fought what's his name? I can't think of it. He fought like a couple UFC guys who are retired and they're older fighters. And UFC and boxing is completely different, money. If we sit here and throw hands, anything can happen. But if I take my left foot and put it next to your temple, I can cut your lights out. So you take a guy like
Yeah.
John Bones Jones, he's known for knocking people out with his kick.
Hmm.
And if you tell him to throw hands, will he hold his own? Absolutely. He's a trained assassin. But it's going to be different for him not to be able to use his legs.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, here's another thing. My problem is a Netflix thing too because remember how that one fight went with Jake Paul and Mike Tyson? That junk was always crashing and always
Well,
skipping
they've
and all
bounced back
types
from
of
that money. They've
things.
had a couple more fights on Netflix, and so that was their first time doing it. So yeah, they're expected to be roadblocks because you've never done something before. You're gonna have a learning curve. But they had the
Hmm.
oh my goodness, the Bud Crawford and Canelo fight on Netflix, and it ran well. There was no issues. So they've what
Oh, I got something for you that you didn't know. I know this ain't about boxing or whatever, but I show Alice in Borderland is now on Netflix,
no, yeah, season
part
three came
season
out.
3.
I don't even know if I'm gonna watch it honestly. It's like you ended it the way you ended. First of all, season two was rushed. The way you ended was, yeah, that's another conversation for another day. But yeah, I'm not looking
We'll
forward
talk
to it.
about we'll
Yeah, I'm
talk
not
about
looking
that
forward
next
to it to be
episode
completely
probably.
honest. But yes, ultimately,
All right,
I just
you
got one
done?
last
You
statement
got
to make.
more? for
Tank
this one?
Davis, you are a icon in boxing. It's people that look up to you. I respect the legacy you've carved out for yourself, the things you prove, starting under Floyd Mayweather, then branching out to be your own brand and your own person, just showing us time and time again not to doubt who the fuck you are. And for you to take this fight against Jake Paul, I think it's not only beneath you, but it's is giving, trying to think of the word, it's giving desperation. And it's like you of all people don't need to be there. Yeah,
Trying to stay
it's like you
relevant.
don't need this. You've proven enough. Tank can retire today, and I still think he's a Hall of Fame boxer. But this ain't it, man. But yes, moving along to NFL recaps. You know we had to talk about this one, Money. You tried to skip over it in our meeting, and I let it slide, but I felt it was disrespectful. How you don't want to talk about my Carolina Panthers going out there and shutting down Atlanta? How are we not going to talk about Carolina shutting down Atlanta 30 to
Hey,
0? Come on, man.
hey, let's talk about it. Y'all beat on them boys.
Carolina
Ain't nothing to
Panthers
be
was out there
said.
doing their thing, they thug bizzle. You hear me? Defense was dominant, forcing 3 turnovers and limiting Atlanta to just 5 out of 16 on third and fourth down conversions. One of the biggest plays of the game was Shaw Smith Wade, our second year DB, 11-yard interception, pick six in the third quarter. Bryce Young played a clean game finally, 16 to 24 for 121 yards. Also had a 4-yard rushing touchdown and did his little dance in the end zone. But I will say Bryce started off a little shaky. He did miss like his first. He was started off like 2 for 7. And he finally cleaned it up, so that was concerning. Even our kicker Ryan Fitzgerald was also sharp, going perfect on his attempts, including a 57-yard field goal. Panthers scored on all 3 phases: offense, defense, and special teams, and complete team effort. Just straight dominance. The Falcons, on the other hand, struggled throughout the whole game. Michael Penix Jr. is not good. Is it still too early to say that, or can we finally say that? Because I think people are still hesitant to say it, so I'm going to be the first to say it. Michael Penix is not good. He's 25 years old in his second year. He's an older quarterback. You don't want a 25-year-old second-year quarterback. You know how old Drake May is? Drake May is 22 in his second year. He just turned 22.
21.
Michael Penix in the
Wow.
second year, he's 25. Big difference.
Wow.
He was under pressure the whole game because that's what you do to bad quarterbacks. You put pressure on them. He was 18 to 36, 172 yards, threw 2 interceptions, one of which was a pick six, and he was eventually benched for Kirk Cousins. Kissing Cousins had to come in the game because it was getting bad money. Despite outgaining Carolina in total yards, the Falcons didn't put up much numbers on the board, as you can see, not scoring anything. Special teams also hurt the Falcons. They missed 2 field goals from 49 and 55 yards. Keep in mind, they cut their kicker because they wanted to give Romo a chance. They wanted to give Parker Romo a chance, and he looks bad too. And they muffed the punt. We recovered early in our territory to get on the board. The offense lacked consistency, and the execution and scoring situations was poor all game. It was Carolina's first shut victory since 2020, Money. For the Falcons, this loss added mounting pressures to the offense and questions about their QB situation, which, if they did the way they were supposed to, sit Penix a whole year, then let Kiss and Cousins take over this year, he might have been more prepared, but they didn't do that. And then you still have Kiss and Cousins on your roster. So that's kind of concerning. Um, the rivalry between the Panthers and the Falcons continued to be heated, and this one of the most recent meetings did not disappoint. We're going to play them again later in the road because, like we said, they're the divisional rival. And after we smack them, I'm expecting them to become better prepared.
Were y'all home
They
or
were
away?
home. So, yeah,
Mm. They got
yes,
beat
sir.
on like that at home.
What the kids
That's
say, we
bad.
put belt to ass. Okay? We put the ass. So, our next, actually, I think they might have been. Let me double check. I'm not sure. You be asking me questions I don't be ready for, bro. I think we were home.
That's my job, bro. That's my job to ask the questions and make sure you're ready for that, man. Shoot.
We were home. Yeah, we were home. So
Okay.
next time we play them, we'll be in Atlanta. And I mean, hey, people been like I said, bro. I'm not counting my team out. We started off rough, yes, but I'm still not counting them out because I'm seeing the flashes. I'm seeing things that gives me some hope and positivity.
Hey,
Yes, sir.
I got a question for you. I got a question for you, bro. Every time we had this pod, I gotta ask you this: how were the two receivers? And you know who I'm
I
talking
mean,
about.
Tet is he's getting better each game, which is what you want to see from a rookie wide receiver. He's averaging no less than 7, 8 targets these early games. He had his first 100-yard game last week against Atlanta. He's due for a touchdown. So if you're a gambling person, I'll put a little taste on Tet McMillan scoring his first touchdown next week. We're playing the Patriots. Unless Christian Gonzalez is going to shout at him, I think Christian Gonzalez is overrated. People think he's a top 5 corner. I think he's good.
Christian
He comes
Gonzalez is
back this week.
hurt,
He
bro.
comes back this week.
He's hurt. He had a hamstring
So it's
injury.
his first game
Oh,
back,
okay.
and
Okay, I was
I
just
don't know,
checking.
man. He's a good corner, but people think he's top 5, top 3. I don't think he's there yet. So he's probably going to shadow him. But first game
He's top
back,
10.
shadowing Tet, a rookie, we'll see how he fares. We'll see how Tet fares against a guy who's considered the upper crust of corners in the league. But I like that matchup for him. Definitely bet the over on touchdowns. I think it's one. Bet the over. He'll get a touchdown. So Thursday night football. Seattle beat Arizona 23-20. Money, what are your thoughts on this game?
Bro, I was watching that game. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I at one point thought the game was over, right? And then the Cardinals ended up getting a ball back, and Kyler Murray finally hit Marvin Harrison Jr. for a touchdown. And when he caught it, he just knelt down to the ground. And I was like, oh man, like he's going through it. Like they had to get that
Yeah,
connection going because you drafted both of these players high. You drafted Kyler number one, and then you drafted Marvin Harrison number four. So I'll say at one point I thought the game was over, but it became an entertaining game. And guess what? They kicked it back to Seattle. They ended up, the kicking rule. They ended up kicking it too short, and Seattle ended up getting a ball, and Sam Darnold ended up driving them down the field and kicking a game-winning field goal. I'll say Sam. You know this about Sam Darnold? He's tied with Patrick Mahomes in game-winning drives at 7.
mm. I mean, a lot of that came from that Vikings season, but just to reiterate what Money was saying, the Seattle took control early in the game, 20-6, entering the fourth quarter, and the Cardinals mounted a furious comeback. Kyler Murray threw a 16-yard touchdown to Marvin Harrison Jr. to cut the deficit to 20-13 with about 5 minutes and 50 seconds left. Then, with 33 seconds left, Murray hit Amari DeMarcado for a touchdown in the game to make it 20-20. But Arizona's kickoff team after the tie had a problem with the kick because Chad Ryans landed the kick in outside the required landing zone, putting the ball on 40. And as Money just said, Sam Darnold has been excellent in comeback situations, drove the offense in the field goal range, and Jason Myers, who was a Pro Bowler and All Pro a couple years ago, nailed a 52-yard field goal as time expired. My thoughts, I agree with you on the Marvin Harrison comment. They got to get on the same page. Marvin Harrison is the best wide receiver prospect since Calvin Johnson, in my opinion. And the fact that him and Kyler cannot get on the same page is mind-boggling. And now Marvin Harrison is starting to get in his own heads because this year he's dropping the ball. So he's not getting the ball. And I watched the game last week. I didn't catch this Thursday, but the game last week, Marvin was wide open for like a 40-yard gain. He probably could have scored for like a 67-yard touchdown. Drops the ball. Hits him in both hands and just drops the ball. It was another one. What?
I'm gonna make this comment. I'm gonna make this comment. You give any of the elite quarterbacks a weapon like him, and he's at
Yes,
least
I
putting
don't
up a
I don't
thousand yards a
believe
season.
Malik Neighbors is better than
Any
him.
of the
I'm
elite
sorry. From
quarterbacks.
what I've seen Marvin Harrison do, I saw Marvin Harrison team losing in the game. He looked up at the scoreboard and saw the time, and he goes over to the coach. He's like, "All right, just give me the ball, coach. I'll get it back." The very next play, he bosses the guy for a touchdown. It's not a lot of guys who can turn it on and turn it off like that. And it's just the fact that I think 80% of it is Kyler. Kyler just is not acknowledging.
Jay,
Yes, I'm
give Pat
saying
him.
give. Oh my goodness, it'll be
Give Pat
nasty.
him. What does he
It's
do?
just like we seen when D Hop was on the team. Kyler would force his man the ball, but now I guess since that left a sour taste in his mouth because towards the end of that relationship, Kyler was just kind of looking him off, and it got to the point where D Hop was running wide open. And obviously, D Hop's he's quiet but he's outspoken. So it was one game. D Hop was open 3 plays in a row, and he's like, "One, what you see out there? You ain't like that look?" And Kyler just kind of like brushed him off. He's like, "That's crazy, dog. I'm wide open." And so Kyle's like, "You're gonna get the ball, just leave me alone." And it's like, that's your quarterback. Like Kyler gives me what is it? He gives me little man syndrome. He really gives me high volumes of little man syndrome. And it's like it's no excuse for you not to be getting Marvin Harrison Jr. the ball. He should be getting 9 to 10 targets a game.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, and this may be unpopular.
Yeah, I
You need
think
to
his
get rid of
time's up.
Kyler. You don't come in and bring a freaking nature wide receiver. Here's some things I've been hearing. Like Dolphins fans have talked about this, and I think it'd be a terrible decision. Okay, so as you know, the three quarterbacks everybody talks about is overpaid or whatever is Tua,
Hmm.
Trevor Lawrence, and Kyler, right? They were saying that depending on how this year goes, two of them might be switched for one another.
I mean,
I don't think it'll make a difference because none of them have really been that good, and I don't know how a change of
Kyler's had
scenery
his
can help
moments.
any
Kyler
of them.
started off really well. He just tapers towards the end of the year because he usually gets hurt or he starts playing bad. But I got honestly a little hot take. I think Kyler will be a Steeler next year. I think the Cardinals are going to
Mm,
struggle and
okay.
Arizona's going to move them. The Steelers need a quarterback because Rodgers is going to retire after this year, and I think that quarterback's going to be Kyler Murray.
Okay. Here's another thing we're going to talk about. Well, for the next conversation, I got to have this conversation. Derrick Henry is having fumbling issues, and they're in late games. Derrick Henry needs to tighten up with the fumbling. Like throughout his career, he hasn't been known to fumble a lot.
Bro, you skipping the rundown, bro?
What do you think, bro?
Damn, we was
I
gonna
just had
get
to
there.
talk about
Hold
it,
on, I
man.
gotta find where I got my notes at. You messing up the rundown, bro. All right, here we go. Both the teams ended this week 1-2. The Chiefs snapped their losing streak last week, beating the Giants 22-9. Baltimore, despite a high-scoring offense, has struggled defensively, giving up large plays and yielding both runs and passes. Yeah, Henry has been struggling. He has fumbled, and it's funny because I think it was how many carries? I think it was 272 or 69 carries and the three fumbles, and he's had 49 and three fumbles this season alone. So yeah, I mean, it's Derrick Henry. He's a future Hall of Famer. He'll get it figured out. I'm not too worried about it. I don't think it's anything. I think it's just he's in his own head. He'll be fine. He'll come around. To me, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I like a lot of people are making it a big deal, but I don't think it's as big as the deals we're making it. Now, if he continues it and he keeps fumbling like multiple fumbles in the game, then it's like, all right, now we got something to talk about. But it's just a shaky start. A lot of people start off a little shaky, so I'm not too worried about it. I think he'll respond. Obviously, you are worried. You seem concerned about it.
Yeah, yeah, because when you have a fumbling issue as a running back, what happens? They don't give you the ball as much because they don't trust you. They lose that trust with you. Remember, Mostert had that huge season the year before, and then he had fumbling
He
issues, and
was
they
hurt a
stopped
lot
giving
that
him the
following year
ball,
too, which
and
is
it
his
became
career. He was
irrelevant.
always hurt. But when he came back and started dealing with the injuries, then he got fumbled. Then he was in the
Yeah,
doghouse and he was missing games. So yeah, it was just rough in there. But I don't think you pay Derrick Henry all that money to not give him the ball. He's aware of how he's playing. The coaches are
I
aware. They've
agree.
talked about it. They're brainstorming. I didn't like seeing the tantrum he threw because he was like besides himself that he fumbled again. I didn't like seeing that from Derrick Henry, who's usually more calm and collective of a player. But outside of that, though, I'm not worried about it. It's Derrick Henry. He will get it together. People are really holding it against him. Adrian Peterson
Okay.
fumbled 3 times in the game, and nobody said anything. So,
Okay, I'll let you continue with the breakdown since I skipped it because I had to talk about the Derrick
I
Henry
mean, no, I
fumbling issue.
mean the betting lines for this game: Baltimore's favorite. -2.5 with a win over the Chiefs. Ravens tight end Isaiah Likely is listed as questionable, so it may be his first game back as he continues to work. I didn't check it today, but last time I checked it, he was questionable to come back for this game. Other key matchup questionable players: Ronnie Staley's questionable, Kyle Van Noy's also questionable, and D tackle Travis Jones are all questionable. For Kansas City, Xavier Worthy will be back in the lineup Do you believe he'll be on the pitch count, or do you think he'll be full go? From the things I'm seeing and reading, they think he'll be a full go, but I do think the way they use him is going to be like limited to the wide receiver opposed. You know they like to give him carries. I think
I'll
pitch
say
count
pitch
too,
count.
but they say he's going to be a full go. But I'll be shocked if he gets a carry out the backfield because they normally like to give him some carries on swings or reverses. I don't think he gets a carry this game. I do think they're going to be very cautious of how they use him because if his shoulder pops out of place again, he has to get surgery on it.
How
I mean, it
bad
was
was the injury
dislocated
last
a
time?
shoulder. He dislocated it, got it, put back in place. He's going to be wearing a brace on it.
How
I
bad
mean, a
of a
dislocation is a
dislocation?
dislocation. I guess certain ones you need surgery, but if you avoid a surgery, you can kind of try to, play on it, which
Hmm.
he's going to do. Like I said, if it pops out again, though, he has to get surgery on it, and he's going to miss some time, a lot of time. So for his sake, I hope it doesn't happen because Kansas
Okay.
City needs him. The offense just looks terrible. The Chief defense has a bunch of injury concerns. Ashton Gillon, cornerback Christian Fulton is dealing with injuries. Rasheed Rice is obviously out. Travis Kelce has been struggling. Marquise Brown, I don't even know if he's on the team anymore because he ain't been making the plays. It's rough for Kansas City. It's rough. They got to figure it out. Kansas City's still strong in their front
Jay, I'm
seven.
telling you this.
So I think that's where they'll have an edge against Baltimore's run. The offensive line got to protect Pat, and Pat has to trust his offensive line. Because for the most part, they've been giving him time, but there's been times where Pat doesn't trust it. He's so used to having a bad line, he doesn't trust it. The rookie left tackle they took, he's been playing really well. Pat's got to trust his line. What was you going to say, man?
I'm gonna say the Chiefs are gonna trade for a big time offensive player if it's
I
a
don't think
running
they'll
back or
get a
wide
wide receiver.
receiver. That's
I
my
agree with you.
that's
I
my
think they will
thoughts.
get a running back, but I don't think it's a wide receiver. I think they're going to get a running back for sure because Rasheed Rice is going to come back. He's really good.
They might go get
Yeah,
Brees.
Brees is a good one. I heard this guy float this one out there, but I don't think the team, and I mentioned this to you before. I'm not sure if we talked about it on the pod, but somebody mentioned the name A Chain. I don't think
The
that
A
one's going to
chain.
happen because the price is going to be too high. Um, there's a couple running backs out there. Brees will be a good one in that offense. A Chain is another good one in that offense. Who's another running back that could be moved that's really good? Um,
I'm gonna say A chain in our offense would be explosive.
he's a
He's
great
already
receiving back.
explosive. I'll
Pat,
say
the
another
Chiefs like to
one.
throw to their running backs. Because remember Jericho, mechanic a couple years ago,
Another one.
nasty out that
Yeah,
backfield because they like throwing to their running back.
yeah. I'll say. What about? Do you think Baltimore eventually lets go Mitchell, or you think they're gonna keep him on that pitch count
I
behind
mean, he's
Henry?
he's considered a backup running back. He's smaller. He's a lot smaller, and he tends to deal with injury because of his size. So yeah, he's gonna be a pace back until he leaves there probably, or Derrick Henry leaves.
Oh, Jay, I got a good one. I got a good one we never talked about. Stevenson.
Ramondre Stevenson.
Because remember the Patriots drafted a running. Yeah, the Patriots
I don't think
drafted a
that's a
running
good
back
fit
in the
because you
second
have Kareem
round.
Hunt. You're bringing in Ramondre Stevenson. He's the same as Kareem Hunt. Why would you bring in the back you already got? A big power back.
Hey, I'm like running backs that potentially could be traded. I think he's better than Kareem Hunt at this point in his
I
career.
mean, yeah, but it's not by much.
Is my only argument.
I don't think it's by much that he's that much better. Um, yeah, trying to do this off the top of my head. I mean,
That's the only ones.
who else? Jacksonville. They like Booton, but they just traded Tootin, I mean, excuse me, but they did just trade Tank Bigsby. So maybe you could have probably said the Cardinals before James Conner got hurt. I think the biggest one will be Brees
Yeah.
Hall. That's the big different one. Brees Hall at Kansas City is scary because he's a great receiving back. He obviously run hard. That's a great offensive line. Even if you don't want to say it's great, it's really good. Um, yeah, you
You
got you
have to
got to
do
get your running
something.
back because
Pat
they don't
cannot be
have
the
a.
leading rusher on your
Sadly,
team.
Isaiah Pacheco hasn't been the same since he broke his leg. Kareem Hunt, Kareem Hunt is good for 1 yard. If it's 4th and 1, he's going to get it for you. But he hasn't had a run over 20 yards in over 3 years. So he's sadly not that guy anymore.
Wow.
Other than that, though, some lower tier backs you can get like Jerome Ford. You might can get from the Browns. Uh, Rico Dowdle you can get from Carolina. But none of these guys make you like, oh wow, he's gonna really do something there. You know, who's another lower tier back you can get?
Yeah. What about Houston? Didn't
Houston got
Houston
Chubb,
have two running
Mixon,
backs out there?
um, Damian Pierce. I like Damian Pierce, but once
Uh,
again, it's a lower tier
Neither
back.
one of them.
Chubb's older. Mixon can't stay healthy because he's not very good at
Yeah.
football, but that's another conversation. Seattle. Ooh, Kenneth Walker with the Chiefs. That's kind of scary.
That's hey, I ain't think about that one. That's possible.
That's not a bad one. Or even
That's very
Charbonnet.
possible.
Charbonnet still with Kansas City, I think is scary. Either one of them. So that could be,
I think you
yeah.
have to trade one
Because
of
they're
them.
starting to get to a timeshare, and I think they're both talented to be every down back. So yeah, that's them. So yeah, Brees Hall or Kenneth Walker or Zach Charbonnet, those are some good names. But we'll see. They do need a running back though. They need someone that's going to give them a spark, and sadly, the guys they got aren't. Next up, we got what's up?
I'll say this. I'll say this. Shout out to the Bucks for being 3-0. You know, y'all represent Florida for us.
Hey, bro, ain't Jacksonville 3-0?
I don't think so. I thought they
Oh, they
lost.
did. They're 2-1. So still though, 2-1, bro. You got to shout out Jacksonville, bro. What about Miami? Why you ain't shot Miami out?
Shout out Jacksonville being 2-1.
Never mind. And it was
Me and you
Kara.
can go out there and be 0. Hey, bro. Me and you can go out there being
Hey, bro,
0-3,
we won
bro.
the game. We ain't gonna be
Okay?
0 nothing. You gonna be 0-3. We won the game. We got our W. What you say? That's a W. We got one of them already. NFL preview this week, week 4. Carolina's taking on the
Hey, I got
Patriots.
to.
Both Carolina and New England enter this game 1-2. The Patriots are currently favored by 5.5 points. I probably am going to bet this game because I don't think New England's better than us, to be honest. Some of the key storylines after a 30-point shutout, Carolina's
We'll
offense
see.
is coming off a high visibility win, but their efficiency numbers are a little underwhelming and under scrutiny. They averaged about 4.1 yards per play that game, which ranks very low. Bryce Young showed flashes of play, but also showed his ability to try to extend plays and do too much. However, the Panthers will be out starting tight end Jatavion Sanders, who sustained a high ankle injury last week. His absence removes one of Bryce Young's most reliable targets in the red zone and intermediate passing area, forcing the team to lean on the wide receivers a little bit more. We still got Tommy Tremble. I think Tommy Tremble's really good. He's just in a bad situation in Carolina. New England's defense has struggled this far. They rank poorly in defensive DVOA and allowing a staggering 6 yards per play. A significant boost. Like I said earlier, Christian Gonzalez will be coming back from his hamstring injury, but it's his first game back, so he may be a little rusty. The Patriots also deal with internal challenges as far as the defensive coordinator has been diagnosed with prostate cancer, so he may not be on the sideline. And inside linebacker Zach Core is stepping in to handle the defensive play calling. What are your thoughts on that information I gave you?
I'm picking Panthers. I'm going Panthers. I don't think Gonzalez is going to be
He
fully
hasn't
ready
played,
because
right?
he hasn't played even a preseason really, and so I think he's going to be rusty this game. And if I had to bet, I think Ted
Right.
is going to get a touchdown against him because you haven't done preseason, and this is what week 4, and you just now playing. There's no way you're gonna step
No,
on the
I
field and be
agree.
dominant
And he's due, bro.
unless you're
He's
like
due.
that, but it's very rare.
He's due. He's due. Um, what else I got? Patriots offense, Carolina's defense. New England's offense, led by Drake May, has been more stable than their defense. May has posted good completion percentages despite the team's inconsistencies. The Panthers defense has shown it can create turnovers and suppress opponents in Atlanta. Carolina needs to pressure Drake May early and often and disrupt his timing and limit the big play that New England is trying to create. New England has issues turning the ball over and penalties this season. They're not a very disciplined team, including multiple fumbles and solid plays. And like you see in their loss 21-14. They should have beat the Steelers. If you watch that game, they gave that game to the Steelers. So if the Patriots can clean that up, their chances to win improve significantly at home. But like I said, I doubt it. I think Carolina's going to be feeling themselves. They're going to be having that swagger. Tett's also feeling himself coming off his first 100-yard game of the season. He's going to be a big part of this offense and continue to be a big part of this offense. Him and Bryce chemistry is a little off, but Bryce wants him to get the ball. Bryce knows he needs to get some of the ball. Xavier Legette is very close to being cut from Carolina because I don't know what's happened to him. Like he's been a shell of himself. He's dropping passes. He's giving up on routes. It's not the Xavier Legette that I seen last year. He seems to be taking that sophomore slump, and that's concerning. He's a first round pick. We take him in the first round because we believe he's first round talent. We've seen Ricky Pearsall balling for the Niners. And I remember before the draft, I said I either want Ricky or I want Xavier, and we got Xavier, and I was happy with Xavier. But he's not been producing. He's been playing poorly, and I don't get it. I don't know if he's in his own head or he's what they say quietly quitting, but he needs to figure it out before he be out of the lineup.
I'm gonna tell you something. I heard that he might be a possible trade target for a team, and I'm like, man,
that's
only in
happened
his
on
second
Mingo.
season.
Mingo was never good to me. Jonathan Mingo was
That's
never good, and we
crazy.
drafted him from Ole Miss, and I'm like, why? And he came in week one, they're trying to get him the ball. He had 4 drops, and I'm like, why is he still on the field? 4 drops in one game is insane. So, and then we eventually moved to
It
Dallas.
is.
So, yeah, but I don't know. XL need to figure it out. I still believe in him. Like I said, he's only a second-year player. The sophomore slump is a real thing. Look at Jaden Daniels. So, we'll see. We'll see. Another game that we're looking at is Dallas versus the Packers, a.k.a. the Micah revenge game. What are your thoughts, Money?
I had to bring this one up because I knew that this was going to be a hot topic. They said Jerry Jones even took a shot at Micah. I think Micah's going to have 2 sacks. I'll say 1 or 2 sacks. I'll say more than likely 2 because he feels like they didn't pay him. He feels like he wasn't respected by the owner because he's taking shots at him. He's going to get after Dak, and I think he's gonna try to put a big hit on him and let him know, hey Jerry, you should have
I
paid
think
me,
if
not him.
Schottenheimer is a smart coach, he's going to do everything to limit Micah's impact. We cannot allow Micah to have a field day. I don't give a damn if it's because I don't care if we end up letting Gary go off. Rashard Gary, I don't care if he goes off and us trying to keep Micah from going off. We got to live by that. We can't let Micah. I want Micah to finish with 0 tackles this game. Now, granted, he's still going to have an impact in the game because we're giving him so much attention. Everybody else is balling, but it can't come from him because we need that. We need
Hmm.
that mental edge. Like, hey, yeah, we
So
need
the
that. Like, hey,
LeBron
you didn't have
effect.
any tackles. Well, my teammates did everything. Yeah, but you didn't do anything. We need that psychological because if Michael goes off, it's going to get scary, and I think he will as well.
So like the Spurs, how they did LeBron, they said, hey, everybody else can beat us,
Yeah,
but
it
LeBron,
is
nah, bro.
crazy. Dallas Cowboys are off to a rocky start at 1-2. Green Bay Packers, on the other hand, are 2-1 and look generally steady. They suffered a crazy late game collapse against the Cleveland, but Green Bay is still a good team. This game has plenty of narrative, obviously, with Michael Parsons, who was traded from Dallas to Green Bay and returns to the AT&T Stadium to face his former teammates. And also, Cowboys and Packers have a storied rivalry as the Packers lead their all-time series from the two. Dallas is dealing with key injuries in their lineup, such as Steve Lamb, who has a high ankle sprain, who's been ruled out. Tyler Booker has been ruled out. And also, they're being made with TJ Bass and Brock Hoffman stepping in as their starters from backup roles. On defense, their pass defenses begin to struggle badly in 2025 with Micah missing, and they're also struggling against the run, which is why they traded Micah because they needed help in the run. But Micah's not good in the run, so they should have increased their run defense, but they didn't actually increase their run defense. They're actually worse than they were last. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me, but that's what I was told. I was told we traded Micah to stop the run, but they can't stop our wet rag. Um, on the Packers side, Green Bay's offensive line is dealing with injuries as well. Zach Tom has an oblique injury. Anthony Belton's out with an ankle, and Aaron Banks is doubtful for the game. On the other side of them, Tucker Kraft was upgraded in practice, but he's still questionable heading into this game. The key matchups, like we said, Parsons versus Dallas O-line. Prescott needs to find Micah early and often, identify him, spotlight him, do whatever they can to keep him out the backfield because Micah's going to be playing like a man with his hair on fire. He wants to make a statement, and he's going to do his damn sure best to make a statement. Dallas already has a patchwork doing on their offensive line due to injuries, and Parcel will definitely be testing those adjustments heavily. Dak Prescott needs the quick decision and protect himself to avoid negative plays. Green Bay would likely lean on both the run and the pass to keep up with Dallas off balance. Dallas defense has been vulnerable through the air and on the running game, so passing plays may be in big effect. So we could see some big shots against them because Diggs don't look good this year. Deron Bland is hurt because he's always hurt. Dallas is a bad team. Dallas is a bad team. No other way to say it. Green Bay is definitely going to look to exploit matchups. Dallas also has issues with turnovers in games where the motivated opponent could get really ugly. Packers penalties have been concerning. If Dallas can force mistakes and stay disciplined, they might stay in this one. But time possession is also going to play a ball. Who can control the ball more? Any other thing you want to add to the game, Money? Yeah,
I'm picking Packers. Jordan Love is going to go off against
this
that
team is going to live and
defense.
die with Jordan Love because their defense is exceptional with the addition of Michael Parsons, who, funny enough, Packers have been really good against the run with Michael Parsons, who is, I was told, is bad in the run defense, but the Packers' run defense is top 10 or top 5. But it's not because of Michael Parsons because he's bad in the run defense. It's because of the other guys, and he just so happened to be on the team now. But he left a team that was bad in run defense, who were about 18th in run defense. Now they're 29th in the run defense. So that means they're worse with the guy who was holding them back. And they add a guy who's supposed to have. It's funny math. This is funny math.
Do you know the three teams that are
three
worse?
teams that are worse in the run. Not Jacksonville. Baltimore. It's Baltimore, not Jacksonville. I think it's Baltimore, Miami, and Carolina. I think those are 3. We're pretty bad against them.
Okay.
All right, Money. And last but not least,
no, we got to talk about the Bucks and Eagles.
Talk about the Bucks and Eagles, bro. That was not in the list you sent me, bro. This is what Money be doing, y'all. He be trying to mess me up while we recording. That was not one of the games he sent. We talk about this 3 days in advance. Now all of a sudden he's like, we gotta talk about the Bucks and Eagles. Why are we talking about the sorry ass Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Don't nobody care about the Bucks, bro.
Hey, they're 3-0, bro. The Bucks and Eagles. The Bucks are 3-0, and
I bet you lunch they don't win the division.
I'm picking.
I bet you lunch they don't win the division. I bet you lunch they don't win the division.
You sure you want to take that bet? Okay, we gonna make that bet. I bet you lunch they do.
Anyways,
okay.
Say less. Let's go back to this conversation. The Dolphins, Jets. We gotta do Cardinals, Seahawks, Panthers, Pats, Ravens, Chiefs, Cowboys, Packers. Now all of a sudden he wants to talk about the Bucks. So go ahead and talk about the sorry ass Bucks, Money. You're trying to piss me off this Saturday afternoon, and I'm not gonna let you. Go ahead and say what you gotta say about the Bucks, man.
Hey, I'm gonna say this. I'm picking the Eagles to win the game because the Bucks have too many injuries. Mike Evans, he's hurt. Chris Godwin, he's returning soon. But they have that rookie Ibuka who's out there balling out. And I think he's going to have a pretty good game against the Eagles. And then you have Bucky Irvin, who's been having a good season also. Who's your pick?
Believe it or not, actually Tampa Bay. I don't think Philly's as good as they were last year. Yeah, I gotta be honest, bro. You ain't got a lot of podcasts. I'm not gonna lie. I think Bucks is a really good team this year, but I think the reason why I think Carolina's gonna surprise everybody, bro. Everybody keeps saying Carolina's a bad team, and we're not a bad team. We have some bad mistakes that we'll make, but all that stuff's fixable. So yeah, I think we can shock them. But besides the point, I think Tampa has a good team. They are dealing with a lot of injuries, which is why we see a lot of good teams miss the playoffs. Like, was it last year or the year before? I think it was last year. We saw the Niners miss because they had about 22,000 injuries. So, yeah, it's going to be tough for them, but I think they can still pull it off because even with the injuries they're dealing with, Baker Mayfield's finding a way. Currently, Baker Mayfield is second on my MVP list. If the season ended today, Baker's second. Yeah,
He's a
he's been
baller,
balling. He's
bro.
been balling all year, and it's so bittersweet because it's like, why didn't you play like this in Carolina? You bum. But anyways, yeah, I like Tampa in this matchup. I don't think Philly's as good as they were last year. I can't stress that enough. Um, I think Philly's going to find ways to lose this game because they're going to be too conservative, and then they're going to try to play from behind, and it's going to be too late.
Okay. And then the final game we're gonna talk about the Dolphins versus Jets on
Yes,
Monday
sir. It's a
Night
divisional
Football.
game. Both Miami and New York are off to a shaky starts. Both teams have struggled early this year. This game is another AFC matchup where the outcome are often pivotal for division standings. The Dolphins lead all time in the series, 61 to 57 to 1, and their recent dominance at home is notable. Miami is a narrative favorite in this one, with the spread giving them a 2.5 point favor victory. The betting consensus lead towards them, and they lean that this game is going to be under 45 total points combined. And notes, QB Tua Tagovailoa has been inconsistent this season, throwing 5 TDs with 4 interceptions so far, forcing pressure on Miami's offense to reduce mistakes. The Dolphins secondary is undergoing changes due to cornerback Cater Cajon out for the season with an ACL injury.
Cater
Cater
Kohu.
Kohu out
Kohu.
for the season with an ACL injury, which weakens their secondary even more. On the offensive line, they lost Terran Armstead, as we all know, from retirement. We did a whole segment on it this offseason. And their offensive unit is still struggling to gel.
We
Yeah, they're
predicted it,
still
by the
struggling to
way.
gel and make those adjustments. It just seems like their offensive line is not in sync with their quarterback. Like, you know how you see the quarterback communicate to the line? I don't see any of that from Tua. I just see Tua line up and snap the ball.
You want me to tell you this, Jay?
Hmm.
Let me tell you this, Jay. The Dolphins have injuries on the offensive line. Daniels, the right guard, got hurt, and Austin
Isn't
Jackson has
Patrick
been
Paul
hurt
banged up? Like, isn't he
also.
playing hurt,
So
or am I
Tua,
mistaken on that? I thought I read somewhere he's playing hurt.
Patrick Paul's okay. He might be playing hurt. I haven't really noticed
He's
it,
been
but he's
playing
been
all right.
having a decent season. But to his blind side, the right side
Yeah.
is injured. The right guard and right tackle. I'm picking the Jets to win. The Dolphins are bringing out new fire uniforms. You
I'll
seen them
probably have it in
uniforms,
the video
bro?
of the uniforms, but no. They
Bro,
look good. Are y'all
them
home or
uniforms
away?
are fire. Yes, bro. They look good.
Okay.
We're
Justin
home.
Fields is expected to return.
I'm
He's
picking
cleared
Jets
concussion
though.
protocol, so he should be good to go to start. And his week 3, apparently it's Tyrod. We've been saying his name wrong all these years. It's not Tyrod, it's Tyrod. Tyrod Taylor started and posted at 197 and 2 TDs and 1 interception. On defense, New York has some injuries concerns, but still tries to lean on their defensive front seven, which is actually really good, and create pressure. I think it's going to be a good game because it's two teams that are struggling. I think Fields need a game for a confidence booster, so I think it's going to be a high scoring game because Miami's defense has been struggling. The Jets defense is still trying to figure it out. And who do I got winning? I think Miami gets their first win of the year. I think Tua's gonna have one of those games where I'm gonna come in here next week and be like, I told you Tua's top 10. He's gonna have a crazy game finally, and it's gonna temporarily put a band-aid over everything going on in Miami. But reality's gonna sink in when they play Carolina that following
I
week.
think they're gonna lose.
If they lose, it's gonna be tough, man.
You know why I think they're gonna lose? Here's why I think they're gonna lose. Your quarterback is more worried about what the media is saying about
Yeah.
him than the team. That's why I think they're gonna lose.
And piggybacking off of that comment Money just made, the last thing we're gonna talk about this video. Tua Tagovailoa versus Cam Newton. What do you have for us, Money?
You want
Start
me to
off by
read the
reading the quotes
quotes
here.
or you got them? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna start reading the quotes. I had them. Uh, I took a screenshot of them because it was too
Yeah.
long to type. Okay, so Cam Newton is saying Tagovailoa is making more than Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Baker Mayfield, Matthew Stafford, and Jaden Daniels. Newton said, "Am I pocket watching? No. I'm putting things into perspective here. In this case, it should be more money, more expectations. When I see Tua Tagovailoa over this year alone, I've heard him more than I've ever have. That's not to say you can't talk. I like quiet Tua, Alabama Tua, chip on your shoulder Tua. Not is somebody going to come in and watch film. What you're being paid, what you're asked to do, what you have the capability of from one quarterback to another. I look at this situation like, come on, dog. Especially when you got a Ferrari and a Lamborghini and other amenities that other quarterbacks wish they had. You want me to read what Tua says back to
Basically, let's
Cam?
acknowledge what Cam said first. Cam is basically saying that, with
Okay.
the things that Tua has at his disposal compared to other guys around the league, we can go three teams real quick. Buffalo Bills. We both agree that Josh Allen's better than Tua, correct?
Josh Allen with that team
Who
would have
has
beat the
better
Chiefs
wide
and won the Super
receivers,
Bowl last year.
Miami or Buffalo? Okay, Baltimore. We both
Miami.
agree.
Matter of fact, hey, hold on, Jay. Matter of fact, we can argue A Chain is better than James Cook.
I like Cook. I like Cook a lot.
Well, they're both up there. They're both elite, but A Chain is more
There's an
explosive to
argument
me.
for it, yeah. But yeah, then we'll go
Okay.
to Baltimore. We both agree that Action Jackson's better than Tua, right? Who has better wide receivers?
Yes.
Then we're gonna
Tua.
go to the Chiefs. We both agree Patrick Mahomes is better than Tua, right? Who has better wide receivers?
Yes.
So
Do we have to name? Should we go through all the teams that all the teams with quarterbacks that I mean that Cam
he
mentioned,
mentioned he
or
mentioned
we just gonna
team.
talk about
Who did
three?
he mention else on the list?
No, well, he mentioned Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Baker Mayfield, Stafford, and Jaden Daniels. I don't know why he didn't mention Josh
Yeah,
Allen in that argument,
especially the division. But yeah,
but
then we
Josh
can
Allen
do
should have been in
Justin
there too.
Herbert. Tua has better wide receivers than Herbert, and Herbert's better. Um, who else was on that list? Baker
Yes,
Mayfield. That's kind of I
Jalen
don't know about
Hurts,
Baker Mayfield. I like Tampa's wide receivers. Mike Evans is a future Hall of Famer, first ballot.
and
He's looking really
Abuka
good.
is better than any
Yeah, he's
Dolphins
looking
number
good so
three wide
far. And Chris
receiver.
Godwin, Chris
Yes.
Godwin has showed us he's elite, but he can't stay healthy. That's his like issue. So I guess you could argue Miami is better. So
hmm
would you take Waddle over Chris Godwin? I think I would.
I'll say just
Just
because
because
of
of age. That's
age.
fair. That's fair. I was
That's
curious. I
it.
think I would. But so I guess we'll say push there, right? And then you said Jaden Daniels, Miami's
hmm
offense is better. Yeah, Hurts.
Hurts.
I think I'll give it to Hurts in that one. AJ Brown paired up with Devontae. I think I'll give it to
Yeah, I
Hurts.
give it to
Yeah.
Hurts because they
So
got
I'll give it to
Saquon.
Hurts in that one. But all these offenses that we just named,
Stafford.
Stafford, you Devontae Adams is
Stafford.
32. Puka's a dog.
Tyreek.
I don't know how you feel about Kyron Williams. I think I'm very biased when it comes to Kyron Williams. So, but I think I'll give it to
I'll
LA.
say Devontae
He's
Adams
32.
older. I get it, LA. Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels. I agree. I agree with Cam with Jaden Daniels. The Dolphins have a better offense
Yeah,
weaponry than the Commanders, so I give that one. So I'll say out of all of them, we'll just say I don't agree with
agreed.
Hurts and Stafford, but everyone else
Yeah,
I think I agree with.
and I mean, I guess Daniels you can kind of throw in that because he's not played that well so far this year, and he's missed a couple games with injuries. So you could push back on that one. But for the most part, I'll
hmm
say 7 out of 10 of the players he named, 100% he's correct. And Tua has I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with Tua this year. I agree with Cam. He's talking a lot. He's talking a lot, and Cam wasn't trying to tear him down. Cam was saying, "Hey, man, we know what you're capable of." He referenced it. He said Tua from Miami, Tua early on in his career, where
Yeah,
he led the league in passing. That's what
yeah.
I'm
He said
saying.
Alabama
We seen
too.
you do
You
it,
know.
bro. So let's see you do it like you used to. So I think Cam was being more encouraging, and Tua obviously took it the wrong way. And go ahead with what Tua's response was.
Tua says He said he has admitted he hasn't played anywhere near the standard he's capable of, but he dismissed Newton's comments in response to the football as a whole. He said, "Well, anybody can play quarterback in this league. Then I want to see anybody on the streets come and play quarterback." Tua said. Well, Tonga said, "Cam is doing his thing for sure, but I think it's easier to be able to hold a clicker and talk about that way or talk about what someone else is doing wrong when you're not going out and having to do the same as them. I think it's easy to do that. I think anybody can do that. I don't think anyone can play NFL quarterback."
All right, and now we're gonna start with the scope of Tool referring to people in the media. I agree. I do think it's an easy job to talk sports all day. Because the video you sent me, the dude was like, "I don't think our job is easy." He was very offended. He was like, "Our job's not easy. We gotta do these." He's like, "We gotta do meetings." I'm like, "Bro, you
Yeah.
get paid to talk about sports. Your job is easy, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with having an easy job. You talk about sports for 3 hours a day on television. Your
Yeah.
job's easy, and that's okay. Now, the thing that I think Tua failed to realize is Cam Newton played football in the NFL. Cam Newton at the peak of his powers is better than Tua ever has been.
Yes.
If you put Cam Newton on that Tua team that he was in Alabama, Alabama won three in a row. If you put Tua on that Auburn team that Cam won with, they probably have a negative record. Out of all those guys that Cam played with when he was at Auburn, I would say offensively,
I can't name
the only
one.
one I can name, and I can't even think of his name, but I remember him was the D tackle, Nick Fairley. I remember him now. Nick Fairley is the only player that I can remember from that team. And he played defensive tackle, and he was considered a bust because he didn't really pan out. But if you look at that Auburn team, Cam was the heart and soul of that team, bro. And then you look at
Yes.
whatchamacallit, move on to the league. Cam was an MVP of the league. He went to the Super Bowl with a bad Carolina team.
Yes.
Ted Ginn was his number one receiver.
Yes. Eh, hey Jay, uh, I'll say Tua's had more weapons than
Yes.
Cam has ever had. Can we even? His best running back was what?
Jonathan
Jonathan
Taylor.
Taylor. I mean, not Jonathan Taylor.
I mean Jonathan
Not
Stewart.
Jonathan
Jonathan
Taylor. Was
Stewart and D'Angelo.
dang. It was
But D'Angelo was
Jonathan
older.
Stewart. Yeah,
Stewart
yeah,
was
yeah,
getting
yeah.
older. So yeah, that was his best running backs. I think D'Angelo was heading to Pittsburgh by then. But yeah, it was he didn't have any help. He had Greg
Hmm.
Olson. Greg Olson was awesome, but he was a little
It was
older, yeah.
older.
And so we had Steve Smith. He was older. So no, man, Tua's had better weapons. His whole only person you could say is Greg Olson. Greg Olson was Cam's best weapon. Kelvin Benjamin was awesome his rookie year. Then he wasn't very good after that. So no, you can't. I don't know, man. Cam won MVP. Cam took his team to a Super Bowl. Cam, had a
Yep.
bad Super Bowl, but the fact he made it to the dance, I think, is saying something. And I've been a big Tua defender on our podcast,
Hey
but
Jay, that
that
Super
Super Bowl
Bowl
run,
run, Cam has more wins in the playoffs in his 1 year than
yeah.
Tua's had in his whole
And I've
career.
been big defending Tua, but Cam has done it at the highest level. And the fact that he tried to dismiss him like he was a sports personality is crazy. And Tua's being defensive for no reason. Cam wasn't saying you're bad. Cam was saying, "Hey man, I need you to play like how I know you can play." And you know what I'm saying? In terms, you fundamentally agree with Cam Newton that Tua is good, and that's fine. But the thing is, Cam wasn't saying you're bad, Tua. I think that's a lot what's wrong with a lot of athletes. Like, I understand media takes it too far because at the end of the day, they are people just like we're people. Totally get it. But at the same time, when you make millions, it comes a level of responsibility. It comes a level of, hey, you are making
Yes.
millions. We understand you're human. It shouldn't be disrespectful. Totally agree. It shouldn't be disrespectful. But there's going to come criticism with this money you're earning because of what you do. You're an entertainer. So I'm going to criticize your entertaining value, what you're doing out there. And you can't be offended by it. That's what the money's
You
for.
know what, Jay? I got a prediction. I, here's another argument I gotta make that we ain't even talking about. Tua took shots at media personalities, but a lot of these guys who are media personalities that's criticized Tua has
Correct.
actually
A lot of them
played at a
have played
higher
for the
level than
guardrail.
him. Ryan Clark has played at a higher level than him. Ryan Clark has a Super Bowl.
I mean,
So,
he was on a good
so
team
you know,
though.
they're
He
talking about, oh, it's
he
easy.
played with like
Won't you come
17
here?
Hall of Famers.
Yeah, but still, he was good himself in his own right, you know. And so it's like he to me, I'm gonna just be honest. Ever since he's gotten paid, he's
Yeah.
talked more than ever. He's talking about calling out Tyreek Hill, but you're throwing game-ending picks. Tyreek Hill should be the last person you should be calling out. Then you're gonna say, "Hey, I told Tyreek he's running so fast. I'm gonna throw him basically a 40-yard comeback route." Like
Yeah.
what?
I mean, like I said,
Who admits to that?
I'm chalking that up as sarcasm. I'm just saying he was being sarcastic with that comment. But yeah, Tua has to play better and Tua has to take the criticism. You're a franchise quarterback. Suck it up and deal with it. It comes with the territory. Money. If you or I was making 50 million a year
Yeah.
and they're saying, Money Barnes, you're playing awful. You got to step it up. You're right. I am playing bad and I need to figure it out. You're right. I'm not going to be like, well,
Yeah.
could you do my job? It's like, why are you being so defensive?
Jay, Jay, you know why he's defensive? I'm gonna just be real with you. You know why he's defensive? The reason why he's defensive is because he's starting to feel a
Mm,
pressure. Like he knows that if he doesn't tighten up,
correct.
McDaniel's gone. Chris Greer is probably not going to be the GM, and Tua
And
may
three
be up
head
out of there.
coaches, the first two head
Because
coaches,
think
a
about it,
third head
like
coach come in, he's gonna want. I'm
no,
saying
yeah,
a
yeah,
third head
two,
coach come in, he's gonna want his own quarterback because he's gonna see like, okay, I seen two coaches try with you and
yeah.
it failed. I need my own guy. If I'm gonna fail on my own standard. No matter what I may think of Tua or the
What
league,
about you,
yeah. I
Jay?
mean, if they get rid of Daniels, the new coach is gonna want his own quarterback. So Tua's gonna get moved.
Would you want Tua as your quarterback after hearing everything he's saying, how he's talking, how he's playing, and they're like, "Hey, Jay, we're gonna give you we're gonna let you be the new head coach of Miami." Are you gonna walk in and say, "Hey, man, I want Tua as my
I would
quarterback," or
want a
you gonna want your own
conversation.
guy
I would want to
and live
talk
in
to him
and
and say,
fail with
hey,
him?
this is the direction we're trying to go with the team. Okay? This is what I'm gonna need from you. And depending on how he responds and handles that meeting, because if he's in there, well, I'm gonna do it my way and I think my way works, then it's like, okay, well, I see fundamentally we're going to disagree. So I think it's in our best interest that we find a trade partner and get you out of here. I mean, that's the best way to do it. Have a conversation
To
with him,
be
see where
honest,
his head
Jay,
is at, tell him the direction you want to take the team, and go from there. That's what happened with the Jets. They had a conversation with Rodgers, let him know the direction they wanted to go. He didn't want to be a part of it, so they said, "Okay, cool. We're going to go in a different direction. You have a good one."
I wouldn't take that chance, bro. Like it seems like he's
Yeah,
regressing every aspect possible, and the GM looks bad because you had her. Think about this, Jay. You possibly drafted the worst quarterback in the first two rounds. Let's talk about this. Joe Burrow is out of the conversation because he went number one, right? Okay, let's talk about these. Justin Herbert,
yeah,
you passed on him. You also passed on Jordan Love,
yeah.
who also went in the first round, and
He was
then
the second
Jalen
round.
Hurts. So I'm like, as a GM,
Ain't looking good. He needs to be fired. He
it's
needs
not
to
looking
be
good,
after
bro.
this year. He needs to be fired. Even not if you get rid of Daniels early, because if
He's not
you know
gonna
how
be
we talked
fired.
about, I said Daniels shouldn't get fired. He should finish the year out at least. But if Daniels get fired during the season, you got to fire. You got to clean
Yeah,
house. You got to clean house. Because why would you wait?
the GM
Why
ain't
would
gonna
you
get
wait to
fired,
fire
Jay.
him?
You know why they're not gonna fire the GM? Guess what? You know the Dolphins still got an ongoing case against them with the Brian Flores. You can't fire the GM. You know why? You move. You don't fire him. You just move him to another position. That's what's gonna happen because the Brown. If you fire him, he's on Brian Flores'
I
side
remember you mentioned this before.
because he
Yeah,
knows a lot of information. You
you
get
made
what
a
I'm
good
saying?
point. You said I'm not sure if we said it on the pod, but you mentioned he knows where the bodies are buried. But are we about winning games, or are
Yeah.
we going to just pay a couple $1 million to be done? I'm a billionaire at this point. I'm about winning games. If you're truly about winning games, fire him. Whatever happens, happens. Pay the money out, you already been punished for it. You can't get punished twice, right? They took draft picks from you for this situation, so
Yeah,
you can't get punished twice for it. Pay it off and be done with it. You got to cut ties with him. He's been with the organization
I
25
agree.
years, and what has he brought us? A couple playoff appearances and losing in the first round.
We don't even got a
Exactly.
playoff.
He's got a
We
playoff
don't even have a
win.
playoff win.
So cut ties with him.
The offensive
He's
line is
proven
in
to us that
shambles,
he's
Jay.
bad at his job.
The offensive line
You
is in
gotta get rid of
shambles.
him.
Jay, I'm gonna bring this up, and this will be the last thing I bring up regarding this. Okay, let's talk about. You know how we say the Dolphins' offensive line is bad. Let's talk about all the draft capital they used
Mm-hmm.
on offensive line. So I want you to take tally of this. How many second round picks and first round picks they used on the line? Patrick Paul, that's one, right? Liam Eichenberg, that's two. He's a guard, right? Robert Hunt, that's enough. That's 3 second round picks
Mm-hmm.
you used on the offensive line. And then Austin Jackson was a first round pick. So you use 4 premium picks on offensive line, and your offensive line
You
is
hit on
still
one of them.
terrible.
Yeah.
What
I
does
mean,
that tell you?
you can't miss on first round
Yes.
picks. I'm more okay with it being a second round pick because what if it was a late second? That means that guy could have probably won the third or fourth round. So they're
Nah, Jay,
high.
they were higher. They traded up. And then, hey, Jay, we're not gonna even talk about Jonah, who looks
Yeah,
horrible. Also, so
that's five.
that's hold on. You got Hunt.
That's
You
five.
drafted
Yeah.
in the second round. You drafted Eichenberg in the second round. Patrick Paul. The
Yeah.
GM sucks. He sucks. You drafted all those
No,
players in the
no, it's
second round,
good.
and then your current second round pick, it looks bad. So to be
Yeah, he needs to
honest, he
go.
needs to go. He's the main problem.
It's an issue with the talent being evaluated. And even if the guys do come in and they're good, it's so many injuries. It's so many guys that are, oh, did so
Yes.
and so play? No, he's out. Jalen Phillips. Jalen Phillips is really good, but he has an injury history. And then he was having his best year of his career. He tore his
Yes.
Achilles. And isn't he currently hurt now?
No. And then you traded for Bradley Chubb. Has had an injury
Bradley Chubb hasn't been
history.
good since he got to Miami.
He had one good season. One good season, Jay. He had like 10, 11 sacks, and besides that, he's
So
been
it's
terrible. Well, this year he has 3 sacks. So, but still, bro, it's just the GM cannot evaluate talent, bro. Like I said, think about all them offensive line players I was
yeah.
talking about. He drafted, and only one of them was good.
Yeah, no, that's unacceptable.
And we talk about it. Miami's offensive line is terrible, right? And you spent all them premium picks on those players, and none of them can be good. And everybody's like, man, give Jonah some time. And it's like, bro, I'm tired of giving players time because I've seen this with this GM.
Yeah.
He can't draft.
And the guys you do hit on, he don't want to pay.
Yes, yes. No,
Yeah.
or he pays the wrong ones.
Damn. But all right, man. Anything else you want to add?
No, I'm
I think
good. What
that's
about you,
everything.
bro?
It's gonna be another fun field day full of football. Like I can't express enough. It's our favorite time of year. Still a lot of football left. Only week 4, so anything
Yes.
could happen. But it's a couple things we're seeing that doesn't look good. Miami has to get it figured out sooner than later, or it's gonna be a lot of people unemployed. There's gonna be a lot of people unemployed. There's gonna be a lot of people getting moved around, and I think it'll turn into a fire sale very quickly. Carolina needs to continue this momentum we got. We have a weak opponent on deck with the Patriots. I think we can beat the Patriots and hopefully go into the Miami game 2-2.
Hey, I hope y'all put us out our
I
misery.
think that would be the nail in the coffin. If y'all lose to the Jets, then lose to us, that would be the final nail, and I think somebody's getting fired.
No, Jay. The nail in
You
the
think
coffin is
so?
the Jets. Because think about it, bro. You know why? You're 0-3 in your division, right? So that means you have to win against the Patriots, the Bills, and the Jets next time you play them, which let's just call it
That's
what it
gonna
is.
be
You're
tough.
probably not going to beat the Bills, right? And then Jay, you're 0-4 in the AFC.
You would have
You have to
them
go
on
on
the
an
same.
incredible run. And then to think about, I don't think you're gonna go beat the Panthers after losing to the Jets at that point. So they might start a fire sale after the
It's
Jets
gonna be
game.
rough to say the least. But all right, you guys, if you made it this far in the video, we greatly appreciate it. If you're new here, please subscribe. Please hit that like button. Please share with a friend. Leave a comment. We love to see comments. We're always responding. If there's anything you want us to talk about, go ahead and leave a comment. If you want us to try your recipe that you made or your cookbook that you're working on, leave a comment. Any charitable events you want to mention, Money?
Nah, not this time.
All right, until the next one, I'm Jay HD, aka 2 Wavy Jayster.
I'm F Money, a money
Until
for
next time,
sure.
y'all, peace.